Back with you on Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, asking you to head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta in the search browser. When you get there, hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment there, free and available too on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. 5-star review us, of course. Leave us a comment and follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Yesterday, we got news that the Atlanta Falcons had put Deion Jones on the PUP list, right? Physically unable to perform list right now, PUP list. Now, it is a little bit different here. We'll explain that in just a second. But do you remember the Dark Knight? Okay, so Deion Jones had a cleanup shoulder procedure, and we talked about this. And I remember some of the comments about, because I said this was all timed out perfectly, right? Like this could have been done right after the season was over with. And it would have been done and over and this and the other. But they timed it out so that as they went through OTAs and mandatory minis, that they didn't have to ask questions about a guy who may or may not be on the roster. And let's face it, during that time, there's no bigger story to talk about, to be honest with you, than talking about will Deion be there or not be there. And somebody else will be, yeah, it's not right. No, you had that. Okay, they could have done this at any time. They could have done this in March. Okay, they could have done this in February. It didn't just develop that, I got to get my shoulder cleaned up now, okay? So now putting him on the PUP list right as we're starting training camp, okay? You remember the Dark Knight, okay? Remember what the Joker said? It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Okay, that's what this is. Miss me with the he's not. Miss me with all of that. There's no random happenstance, whatever, just random thing that happens with an NFL team. They have a game plan. They have a purpose. They have a meaning behind what they do. They don't just whimsically do things for the sake of doing it. It's just timed itself out that way. They're doing this to give them time for two things. Number one is evaluate what they have at middle linebacker, right? And I've talked about that is going to be, for me, that's my number two thing I'm watching. Right tackle number one, middle linebacker number two. That's the second battle I want to watch through training camp is what do they look like at middle linebacker? This gives them a chance to try out the Kiewikowskis and the Evans and the Troy Andersons, right? And see if maybe Michael Walker can fit in that. This is their chance to evaluate without having to worry about Deion Jones being there. It also is giving them time to seek out trade partners for Deion Jones. They're going to seek out a trade partner, okay? I don't have to be part of the blue checkmark media to understand the idea that Deion Jones is a guy who doesn't completely fit into what their defensive scheme is, okay? I can watch him on the field and understand, maybe that's not quite the best look and maybe he doesn't quite fit for what they want to do. So, look, and again, I don't really know what they're going to get or what's available out there for Deion Jones or what a trade package could look like. I don't really care. If you feel like he's not part of your system and you don't feel like you want to pay $20 million, and I understand it's locked in stone, but if you don't want to pay it, find a partner, find a dance partner, figure out, move on. Okay, despite what they want to tell you, they're in the rebuild, retool, reorganize, function their roster, whatever it is that you want to reuse as far as a term for the roster goes, okay? But this is perfectly planned. And by the way, PUP list in training camp means he can come back at any time, okay? He can come back at any time. Now, look, the reality is you don't save a roster spot in all this. And I'll explain that here in just a second. But let me first talk about my friends over at Coffee AM, coffeeam.com. Listen, the best small batch roaster of coffee in the country, right here in the state of Georgia, up in Canton. Coffeeam.com is the place to go. I was just talking to Jarvis off air about this. I'm not really a big flavored coffee guy, but I love their flavored coffee. And the smell and the aroma that comes, just listen, you can go to the store and get all these air fresheners and all these other kinds of crazy things, fakakta things, Febrezes and all this kind of, hell, just dump coffee on your furniture. Why spray your couch with Febreze? Spread their coffee on it. It smells even better. I love these folks at Coffee AM. I drink it every single morning. They got the K-Cups. They got the organic. They got the fair trade. They got the flavored. They got the dark roast. They got the whatever you want. It's all at coffeeam.com. Check out their website, coffeeam.com. Find a list, big menu full of coffees, teas, gift sets, everything there for all of your coffee drinking needs. And I got a special deal for you, okay, for our Locked On Sports Atlanta listeners. Use the coupon code Locked On. Once you put that first order together, use that coupon code Locked On, LOCKEDON, at your checkout, and you're going to get 15% off that first order of coffee, teas, and gift sets. Okay, so whatever it is, you go through the thing, you find a couple different products, beep, bada, boop, bop, bop. Hey, I'm at checkout now. Oh, I got this code Locked On, LOCKEDON, and I'm going to get you 15% off that first order. Coffees, teas, gift sets, whatever. I love these folks. I drink their coffee every single morning. I'm telling you, I'm living proof about how good it is. And again, listen, forget the Febreze, get a gift box, and just dump the coffee grounds right on your couch. It'll smell much better for it. Coffee AM, the best small batch coffee roaster in America. So the thing about putting him on the PUP list is it's not like they gain any advantage. He still counts as a roster spot because you're in training camp. So it's not like when you put a guy on the PUP list, okay, there are requirements about when he can come back, but you don't lose a roster spot, okay? He still counts toward the roster. So there's no advantage, if you will, from a roster manipulation standpoint, because they have 89 guys on roster, and the reason they have one open spot is because Goldman retired rather than suit up. So he counts on the roster, and he can come back at any time. But they conveniently put him on the PUP list because, I don't know, if you didn't put him on the PUP list and he doesn't show up to training camp, then what do you say? Then what do you, now you start answering questions, okay? And the Falcons don't want to have to get into this game of, oh, will Deion be here, not be here? We all know what the deal is on all this. So I know some of you are going to say in the comments, a conspiracy. No, it's not. This is business, folks. This is how you do business. You manipulate these things. You knew his shoulder procedure needed to be done, and it was a simple cleanup, but you timed it just right then. Oh, yeah, I know the OTAs and mandatory minutes are about to start, but Deion's got to get his shoulder cleaned up. Well, why didn't you do it in February when you knew, so he'd be ready for, harumph, okay? Now you put him on the PUP list, even though you gain no roster advantage to it, okay? And you don't have to worry about him being there, and he doesn't have to answer questions about training camp, because guess what? The rookie's already there. Guess what? The Falcons have, in a few days, all the veterans start reporting to training camp. He's not quite ready to go yet. Okay. When will he be ready to go when magically he gets traded to another team and all of a sudden he'll show up at training camp? Because that's the nice thing about the PUP list at this time of year. He can show up anytime through training camp. You don't have to wait. He can show up. He can be on the PUP list today, on the roster tomorrow. And again, he still counts towards your 90-man roster. So again, to quote the Joker in The Dark Knight, it's all part of the plan. It gives the Falcons an opportunity to evaluate the other middle linebackers on their roster and continue to look and seek out trade partners and figure out what they are going to do. Me personally, what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to go ahead and, since every other blue checkmark media guy, since I don't have a blue checkmark, every other blue checkmark media guy that just throws crap at a wall that has no truth behind it, I'm going to go ahead and give my hot take. Deion's not going to be here. Deion Jones is not going to be an Atlanta Falcon. When the Falcons line up week 1 in the regular season of the NFL, Deion Jones will not be here any longer. I don't think he fits what they want to do. I don't think he's part of the plan. I think that they look at some of the other guys that they have, and they're going to give those guys a shot, and they fit more from the physical and size and everything sense of what they want to do. And I think Deion, I don't know if he's going to get cut or he's going to get traded. If you get cut, you still got to eat all the money, but that's okay. They're in cap purgatory for this year anyway. At least it'll get it off the books and things like that. But Deion Jones won't be here when this roster gets cranked up. And when they line up week 1 in the NFL season, he will not be part of all of that. But this PUP list thing, it wouldn't mean anything normally, but it's all part of the plan. Thanks for listening in. Another week in the books. We appreciate you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make my friends over at ATL Day Ones your second listen every day. My friends Jarvis Davis and Tanitra Batiste talking about all things in the heart of the city of Atlanta. Got you covered with all the local teams, Hawks, Braves, Dogs, Falcons. It's all right there. Free and available on our YouTube page at Locked On Sports Atlanta. Also free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms. 5-star review us when you get there. And, of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. We will talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend. It's been Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.